Hi, this is Phyllis with Phyllis Finds coming to you today with another gnome video. Now, I showed you on the last video these gnomes here. They're bigger gnomes made with Dollar Tree items. Today, I'm going to show you how I made this little gnome. This is also using things that I got from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to start, and I'm going to go tutorial wise on how I came to make this gnome. So the first thing we're going to start out with is some of the supplies I bought. Now I picked up these little gnome picks. They have them with the pink, blue, purple, and with this plaid. So these are the gnome picks that I picked up, all, and there are 2 to a pack. So these 2 are in one and these 2 in another. So we're going to show you how to go about making this gnome out of this pick. And one of the things I did right off the bat is, they have the stick in there. I'm going to clip this off. Kind of stuck in there. Okay. Set this guy aside. One of the things I did notice with these gnomes and their ears to begin with was how that they had done the coloring on the ears. It was just like a swipe of a marker. So I went back through and picked out a marker that I liked to highlight these, and I changed them and did some feathering out on all of the ears on these. So in order to make this a little more nice, I just took the brush part of the and just proceeded to feather the inside of the ear out. So it gives it a little softer look. And less of a impact. Now, there are other colors. Could have used the pink, but I chose that one for these guys. So the next thing I did on these gnomes is I needed to take it off this stick so that I just have a gnome head. So they do have styrofoam half egg in there. So I just push in, take your finger, go up in. It just has very little glue holding it in place. And you proceed to do the same thing on the front, going in, popping that glue loose. They do have the ears stuck into the styrofoam, but that's an easy pop out. Pull it all the way out till you get to this point, and then you can pop those ears right out, taking that styrofoam off. Now this could be used for anything else that you wanted. If you wanted to craft up and cover up and make it just an egg design. There I've got the gnome head. I also bought these cones at the Dollar Tree. So taking off the the plastic off of them, you get your regular cone, and it fits right up inside of that gnome just perfect. So I decided to make a template out of paper for the design. Now this one, I didn't. I did squared and kind of gathered it up through the top. It's kind of folded over. But decided I really wanted to see it go all the way around. So I made a template. And the way I did that is I started with the paper like this. And I used my pencil and ran it along the paper as I was rolling the cone in both directions. And that way I got the curve that I needed to make my template. And in making the template, you get your fabric. Probably needed to iron that. But it will fit perfectly on the cone. Now there is one thing you can do. You can either hot glue this in place, although hot glue on styrofoam has a tendency to come undone, or you can take little pins and stick those in there to make your gnome adhered in place. The other thing you could do is just use a regular glue. You have to wait for it to dry. Get that down there. Top too tight. There we go. But the pins help to hold it in place. The other thing I did was make some feet. Now I did buy these sticker Easter eggs. And that's what I've got on this guy here. But I also used this paper here, some of these squares, this is some of that Dollar Tree paper. You can stick the egg foot right to it, and it makes a really cute little foot for the gnome. So this one here, these have not been stuck to anything. They do have the sticker on there. This one here, I just decided to make a template and covered this in fabric. So I took the square, made an outline of it, cut it out, and I used 4 of them on there. I also made a circle by taking the cone and drawing around it, making a circle, which is fairly easy to do. Once you get it done, you can sit there and just cut out the circle. You could also use a die that will get you the circumference that you need, or cut it out on a Cricut, or just freehand it. Either way, it will get you that perfect circle that you need for the base of your cone. It will go right on the bottom there. For this one, I took the same fabric and covered it so that I would have the feet and the body. I also made little arms. So now these here, I sewed these up this time instead of using hot glue. The last video I showed how you could do the hot glue. These I just pulled out my sewing machine and sewed them. So I've got this little gnome to put up there. Just the ears so that they hang down. Make sure your seam is at the back. And that way you've got that. Now these guys, you got to put some stuffing in them. And it's easy to just stuff these little arms. You don't want a whole lot in there, just enough to give them some body. Now you have a choice on this. You can either pin it in place, pin the arms in place. This one here, I glued this down to the bottom, and then I put this little bit of fur around the bottom of that little dress, making that one a wintry, furry one. But you can also use these and use your hot glue on there to glue the feet in place. So that's what I'm going to do with this one here. There are hot glues that are less likely to melt through the styrofoam, but if you get it just right, don't stick yourself with the stuff, you will have it perfect on there, and it will work just the way you want it to. Now I also did put the little flowers here, which are not part of the little gnome heads. They don't have flowers on there, but I decided I was going to put flowers to match their outfit. So each of these little gnomes are going to be the same. They're all going to stand together for Easter. These are all Easter gnomes. Now you have to check to see if your arms, where your arm position is going to be. Having it on either side. And you can go in there and just put a little bit of hot glue across there. Hold it down. Put your beard back down. Do the same on the other side. Verify where you want it. Make sure your arms are even. Go back in. Hot glue it down. And there's your little gnome guy. Little Easter gnomes. 2 down. 2 to go. This one here, I've also got made the template, cut out the fabric. We're doing flowers with this one, so they kind of coordinate all 3 colors. I'm going to clip this baby off. I'm going to show you what happens with the hot glue on this. And that's why you want a lower temp glue than what you have with just your standard standard glues. This is a slightly lower temp. But you take it and you put it right on that edge there. That way you know it's there. This is not burning through it. If it is a higher temp, it will burn through. So you really want to be mindful of what kind of hot glue sticks you're using. Grab another glue stick. Sorry about that. My other glue stick has the big old glue. This one goes through it pretty quickly. So once again, we're going to take and run glue on our fabric. Sure we're getting this tight as we go around. And the body is done, ready to go. Now this one here, I'm going to use these little guys on it because it has the cute little flowers. So, I'm going to cut this out. Now this one, when you set it on there, you can see what it'll look like with your little flower feet. You can just barely see the flowers. The nice thing about these is if you don't want to use all the flowers, have them disappear, you can peel these off, set them aside. You can move these flowers to other positions on here if you don't like how they're located. And decide where you want it. And there you go. It looks like little toes sticking out there. So I'm going to stick these guys down. See where my back is. Got a little extra fabric there, so I'm going to just trim that off because I don't want it sticking out along the bottom edge. So we'll just get rid of some of that so we don't have it flaring out. Okay, the back of the thing. And once again, we'll put the glue on here. and then stick our cone. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is put our little gnome head on there. Make sure our ears are going down, not poking back up. That way they get in the right spot. Then we'll decide where we're going to put the flower. Now I've kind of been putting the flower to the right on all these others, so that's where I'm going to put this one. This is one from my stash, so I figured it would be cute and kind of coordinate. It has the brown and the blue. It also helps to cover up if they haven't sewn this hat or glued it perfectly on top of the gnome's head. Now I got my little arms. Once again, we're going to go up under here, decide where we're going to put his little arms, or her little arms, which way you want to call it, the gnome's little arms. And you can have them so that they're like angled to come forward if you want. Instead of just straight down. So that's what I think I'll do on this guy. And I found if you don't like some of the beard, you know, that's hanging way too long, or a long stringy part, I have trimmed those off. So they're not as long all the way around. You can just trim and clip if that's what you'd like to do. Let's get on this side here. Tuck right up underneath there. And if you've got a beard like this one that they didn't quite get all the way up, you can always just glue that in place. These are rather forgiving as far as how you've done them. But there you go. 3 cute little gnomes, each done a little bit differently. Now there is other things you can use with these guys. You know, these are some of the other flowers. I did use these on this one. Did use one in the center of that. But there are options at Dollar Tree to change up your gnome and to make it a little bit different. But there's the tutorial for 3 new gnomes. Hope this was helpful, and hope you'll be able to make your own little Easter gnomes using some of the things that you find at the Dollar Tree that you wouldn't think to use. Please like and subscribe.